What's going on, guys? Me again. Just gonna take you along for the ride today. I don't know what I'm gonna find. Haven't hooked up yet or anything, so we'll just figure out what's going on together as best as we can, as best as I can. The complaint today is the third floor and the fifth floor are not keeping up. So first thing I want to do is just get my laptop hooked up. I don't care about anything else. I don't want to go to the space. I don't want to go on the roof. I don't want to do anything else but come in here, check for any alarms on the central controllers, and then just get my laptop hooked up. I just want to see what's going on with the system. I don't want to sit and walk around the building and hook up to the system an hour later after I've gone up to the roof, looked at the unit, pulled the panels off, and then I find that it's flat, right? The computer's going to tell me everything I need to know. So in this situation, you see we've got 2 of the AE200s, and then we've got 5 of the, what are these, EB or EW 50s? Doesn't really matter. These are EB or EW 50s. So these are all the central controllers per floor. In this case, you can see the IP address 192.168.1.2. So this is for the second floor. This one would be for the 8th floor. This one is 7th, 6th, 4th, 5th. It's just the way that we do the IPs. So the last number is always the floor, which is nice. That's a good way to do it. So I can come through and find 5th floor, and 3rd floor is the one I need to hook up to. If I needed to hook up to 2nd floor, I'd have to pull this whole thing off and then hook up to the back of where the Mnet is. You can pull this panel off, but as you can see, there's nowhere to hook up Mnet, which is annoying. So these are called AE200s. They can hold 200 units, but they can only have 50 that live on this, right? So it's for the 2nd floor. Only 50 indoor units can live on here. This Mnet goes up to the units that are controlling 2nd floor, so to the outdoor units. It's going to come from here and just daisy chain to all the outdoor units that are connected to all the indoor units for 2nd floor. Now it's called the AE200 because it can see 200 units. So we can see 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and 4th floor. But the units are not living on there for any other floor besides 2nd. They're living on these. So the AE200 can see those, but it's not directly communicating. If I come in here and I come to the 4th floor and I say, hey, change your set point to 68, this is going to reach out to the 4th floor one, which is that one, and say, you need to tell your unit to change its set point to 68. They don't live on here, they live on there. This is just a way to see these without having to pay extra for a screen. Why have, I think these are $2,000 cheaper than these. So if you have a building that needs this many, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, $10,000 you just saved. Why do you need a screen? You don't. You can just import it into here, see them all here, and then just use those. So again, I need the 3rd floor. So I'm gonna first get connected onto here. I can just pop this off and see my Mnet right there. So I'm just gonna get hooked up right there and see what we find. So while my computer is booting up, a good thing to learn is how to find the unit you're looking for. If these aren't labeled, how are you going to know which floor is which? I mean, this is a pretty tall building, and if none of these central controllers were labeled, how do you know where to hook up? You have no idea. literally no idea. So what you can do is just guess, just pick one, connect to it. If it's the middle of summer, put everything in heat only, jack it up to 90, the set point. Go down to the space that you're trying to find. Did the thermostats change? Are they reading 90 degrees set point and set for heat? No? Cool, then move to another unit. Set it all to heat, set the set point to 90, go back down. Did it change? Yep, okay, cool, and that's probably it. I'll usually put it into the dry mode, which is just a super weird mode that you wouldn't typically see on a normal operating system. So if you go down and see the whole floor is in dry mode, then you can be pretty certain that you're on the right floor. And if you want to be really sure, you can go down there and put it in dry mode. Okay, it's in dry mode. Let me put it into heat. I'll go back down there and check. Cool, it's in heat. Put it into cool. All right, it's in cool. Just make sure, the last thing you want to do is start pulling gas out of a system that you're not even there for. You know, it's a perfectly operating system. You hooked up to the wrong floor, and thought that the system was low. Now you're pulling the charge out of the complete wrong system. So, first things first, we're just going to open maintenance tool. Nothing fancy there. Wait for that to boot up. Now when it comes up next, it's going to say manual or auto. Just like this. So if you do auto, it's going to go out and find, hey, is there a 1? Hey, is there a 2, 3, 4? It's going to go out and search for everything up to 253. Literally everything. If you know what unit you're here for, if it was, say, a building with only one outdoor unit, address 51, well, then I'm just going to hit manual, and I'm just going to go over here, find 51, just tap on 51. I don't need to pull in anything else. There's nothing else out there besides a 51. Even if there's nothing else out there, it's still going to say 120, 121. Is there a 122? There's just no reason for that all the time. In this case, there could be, or there definitely is, maybe 5 or 6 outdoor units tied to this controller. So how do I know which one is the one that's not working? I don't, unfortunately. So the complaint is the whole 3rd floor is having issues, or maybe not the whole 3rd floor, but the 3rd floor is having issues. I don't know if it's the north half or the second half or the south half or what, but that's the boat I'm in. So I want to pull in everything. So I'm just going to go to address searching, auto. Now it's just going to pull in everything. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to pull in every single unit that is on that controller. And then from there, I can hook up to 51. Maybe there's a 61. Maybe there's a 71. I can hook up to all 3 of those, pull those up, and then say, okay, cool. What are my set points? What are my actual room temperatures? 61 is set for 72, and all of its indoor units are satisfied. So I'm not going to worry about that one. Then I'm going to leave, connect to 51. Oh, well, this one looks like it's 10 degrees off set point. Let me focus in on this one. But there's no real way to know unless the people on site know, which usually they don't, which unit is having the issue. Especially if there's no error codes. If there's error codes, that's easy. It's flashing 4250, address 51. You know your address is 51. Just go look at that outdoor unit. But when everything's working without any error codes, that's when things get a little bit difficult. So this is a hotel. There may only be 1 unit per floor because I know they have sub-branch controllers here. So there may only be 1 outdoor unit, but I'd be surprised. So let me just finish this. It's just pulling everything in. It's going to say, hey, 18, okay, cool. Is there a 19? 19, do you exist? Yep, cool, there you are. 30, 31, all the way up until you either stop it or it stops on its own. So let me see what it pulls in, and then I'll be right back. All right, so it's at 117. See how quick it's moving? It's because there's nothing that exists that's 120, 30, 40, 50. Now, I know we're done looking for outdoor units because we're on 146 now. Outdoor unit addresses are only 51 to 60, or 100, sorry, 51 to 100. So, a little side note, there's only 2 rotary dials on there. So how do you set it for 100? You just set 0, 0. If the outdoor unit sees that its address is 0, 0, it says, okay, I'm 100. Never seen that, but you can do it. So I'm at 226, 229, 230. I'm just going to cancel it because everything that I need is already here. Now I was right, which is very nice, that there's only 1 outdoor unit, or 2 that are twinned together. You can see we've got 2 outdoor units, master, slave, BC, and then we have 2 sub-branch controllers. Okay, so we come down from these 2 outdoor units to the main BC, out of the main BC into the sub, and then into another sub. Okay, addressing for the subs, addressing for the whole system can be whatever you want, right? Don't do that. Outdoor units should be 50 higher than the lowest connected indoor unit. So this outdoor unit, its lowest addressed unit is 1, so it's 51, okay? And then you just do 52, 53. The sub branch controllers, if you do not address those correctly, they will not work correctly, okay? The main outdoor units and indoor units, you can address those whatever you want. Don't do that. But if you're on a building that it's address 51, but it starts at 19, 20, 27, 45, 50, it's still going to work. If the sub-branch controllers are not addressed correctly, they have to be 50 higher than the lowest connected indoor unit that is connected to them. So if we hover over that, let's just go down here, we can see first branch sub is 67, so its lowest connected indoor unit is 17, okay? Because this has another port on here, so it's on this one specifically is on port 4. So if address 17 says, hey, port 4, I need you to open SVB and send hot gas. Well, we have a port 4 on the main BC, we have a port 4 on the other sub BC. So how do we know which port 4 it wants? The only way is addressing. So this sub is 67, so it says, all right, anything 17 and up I have on me. So if address 17 asks for port 4, I need to open port 4. Okay, and then same thing for the other sub. Its address 75. So its lowest is 25. So it says, hey, port 1, I need hot gas. It says, okay, I'm 25, you're 75, I'm connected to you. Okay, because there's a port 1 here, there's a port 1 here, and there's a port 1 here. So that's the only way. Otherwise, if we address it incorrectly, it's going to ask for port 1, and it's going to think it's on a totally different VC, and it's not even going to get any, potentially, it's not even going to get any refrigerant at all. Okay, so be very, very careful with that. So I just want to pull this data in. I'm going to go to monitor to the OC and just confirm, pull that in, and we'll see what she does. So now that I've hooked up to the system, you can see we've got 1 unit in ordinary. This one is off. Not really caring about anything else because I've just hooked up. For all I know, the system could be running for the last 10 minutes. I need to watch these for at least an hour. Looking at my indoor units, TH1 is the indoor temp, whether that's return air or thermostat temp, I don't know. And then 2 is a set point. So 71 set point, basically 71, 71 set to 68. Cooling is on for that one. High superheat for that one. 0 to 15 is the target. But again, I don't know, the system might have just turned on right before I hooked up. So, or it may have been running for the last 3 days. Who knows? Set for 67, 70 degrees in there. 28 degree TH2, that's right after the LEV. 65, leaving the coil. 37 degree superheat. So first thing we need to do is put it into full test cooling. Okay, this information right now doesn't do me any good because I need the system to run at 100%. If you're low on charge and you've only got 4 units calling, system may look like it's running great on those 4 units. But now as soon as everything's calling at the same time, it just falls on its face. So we're just going to do that. Drive operation, IC, wait for that to pop up. You need to be watching these for an hour. Put them in one mode and leave them alone. Leave them alone. Don't touch them. Okay? Set all. Test run. Cool. Transmit. It's going to go out and turn every single indoor unit on into test cooling. It's going to ignore these set points. It's going to try not to move around as much and to kind of stabilize. But you need to leave it in one mode. Don't just hook up and watch it in normal operation unless you know why you're doing that. Hook it up, put it in full test heat or full test cool, one or the other, and leave it alone for an hour and make it run. Just sit there, watch all the data, and after an hour, then you can make your call on what you think is wrong, unless it's blatantly obvious that it's low. But even then, there's several issues that can make a system look completely flat and run terrible, but the charge is dead on. So again, hook up, put it in one mode, and leave it alone. Okay? I don't care what one slide looks like at 45 minutes in. I want to know what it looked like over the course of 60 minutes, 60 slides. The more info, the better. I need the big picture, not just one slide. Because in one slide, it can look like it's totally flat. It's completely screwed up. It's not working right. And then the next slide, 1 minute later, it looks fine. And it looks perfect. Okay? So leave it alone. Don't mess with it. I get logs from time to time from people that send them in, and they put them in a test heat and test cool and test heat and test cool and put it in a normal operation. And over the course of 60 minutes, the system only ran for 15 minutes because they kept screwing with it. So just leave it alone. Don't make your life harder than it has to be. Okay? So now everything is going to be in test mode. Once it comes on, starts running, we'll diagnose from there and see what we can find. So I'll check back in a little bit and go over the data.